Assalamualaikum and good evening to Doctor and all my friends. So today we are from Group 6 are going to present the case study HACCP plan of our company which is AHBSC Confectionery Sendirian Berhad. These are our team members for this group assignment which consists of me, Shahrul Fazli, Humairatul Huda, Charmaine Nur Athirah and Balqis Yazid. Next we will proceed with the background of our company.
Hi, my name is Xiang and my matrix number is 208054 and this is our company background. So our company here is AHBSC Confectionery Sendirian Berhad and we are a confectionery or candy producer that produces candies that are fruit flavored. So this will tie into our product later, which is pomegranate flavored candy.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Humairatul Binti Sudarman with matrix number 207949. Now, I will present about our organizational chart for AHBSC Confectionery Sendirian Berhad. Here we start with our Chief Executive Officer, CEO Shahrul Fazli bin Azri, Legal Advisor Charmaine Xiang, Production Manager Balqis Binti Yazid, Quality Control Nur Athirah binti Zulkifli, and Research and Development Humairatul binti Sudarman. Now, we move on to our team profile, which is starting with Chief Executive Officer CEO, and here there are name, role, qualification and working experience in food industry, food safety training and responsibility. For CEO, he is responsible for making decisions, designing, improvement and setting a new strategy for the company's growth. For legal advisor, she ensures the company's compliance with current policies and laws, handles legal issues faced by the company. For production manager, she oversees the process and leads the people in the production department. While for quality control, she setting the quality standard, decides quality standards to focus on and create the operation process to deliver quality and improve the quality of the product. And lastly, research and development. She research, planning, implementing new programs and protocols in the company and overseeing the development of the products. We move on to HACCP scope. For our HACCP scope, which is Hazard Analysis and Critical Control Planning, it is very important in our food safety management because it will detect health risks and create plans to prevent, get rid of or lessen each incident. So, the product that we need HACCP is pomegranate flavored candy, where it has a sweet and slightly sour flavor, thus it can vary slightly in flavor depending on the fruit's level of maturity and a number of other factors, whether it is in season or not.
Hello, my name is Shahrul Fazli bin Azri. My matric number is 208059. Now I will continue with the food safety policy and objective of our case study. So for the food safety policy, at our company, our main concern is that the food product that we produce for our customer are kept at the highest standard. We are forever committed in producing the best quality of our food to achieve the expectation of our customer. And we continuously push our limit to improve the effectiveness of our food safety system management based on the 7 principles of the HACCP. Next, there are 5 main objectives that we want to achieve in our production company, which is improve knowledge of our employees, ensure smooth production, make sure that our expenses is in line with the revenues, ensure that our food product is free from the hazard and the contaminant, and also we want to minimize the customer's complaint towards our production.
This is our product description, which is we target for a person who have sweet tooth where they need a candy as a freshener. Basically, we will pack the candies in a bulk pack, which will have a 3 pounds, and each bag have 210 pieces, and it will last long for 3 months. Also, for friendly reminder that it also need to keep in the cool, dry and dark places. Or in other words, just keep it under 25 degrees C temperature. Next is general description of production process. Here I will briefly going through the production process. Firstly, the starch will hydrolysate. Number 2 is we'll heat it. Number 3 is we'll cool it down. And number 4 is we'll fold it and aerate it. And then 5 either wrap or kept in a tight container. For further explanation, my group mates will explain it in other slides.
So next we go to the production process flowchart for the pomegranate flavoured drop candy. Firstly, we have received all the raw material, which is glucose, secret ingredient, colouring, citric acid and pomegranate flavour. After that, we put into the storage. For the glucose and secret ingredient, we put in the dry storage. For the colouring, we put into cool storage. For the citric acid and pomegranate flavour, we put into chemical storage. After that, we have done the preparation based on SOP for each raw material, which is weighing and measuring. After that, we mix the glucose and secret ingredient. After we mix, we cook the mixture with the temperature between 150 and 155 degrees C. After we cook, we put it into the vacuum. After that, we go to the cooling process. After it has been cooled, we have mixed and fold the mixture with the colouring, citric acid and pomegranate flavour on the cooling table to adjust the temperature. After that, we do the cutting process. This cutting process we done when the outside of the mixture is still hard and the inside is still liquid. After that, we do the heating and shaping process using fruit drop roller machine. After that, we go to the cooling process and then the dropping process and then the packing and labeling process. After we have packed and labeled the product, then we put into the dry storage, and after that the product is ready to deliver.
So up next, we are going to be explaining about our HACCP principles on combating these following categories of hazards, which are the physical hazards, chemical hazards, and biological hazards. So in principle 1, we are conducting our hazard analysis, in which we will identify the process steps in the entire candy making process, and we will identify the possible hazards that can come into contact with the ingredients during that step. And then we will identify the risk level of these hazards by assigning it a risk level based on the food safety matrix that we are using. And based on all of these assessments, we will then decide the control measures that is needed in order to mitigate or overcome these hazards. So here's an example of how hazard analysis can be done. On the right is the table that contains our analysis of the process steps and the hazards, the risk levels, and the measures that can be applied to control the hazard. And at the bottom on the left is the food safety matrix that we use for this evaluation. So principle 2 is the determination of critical control points. Critical control points, or CCPs, are steps at which controls can be applied, and they are essential to eliminate food safety hazards or reduce them to an acceptable level. So by using a decision tree codex, we can determine which process steps are CCPs. So they are listed over there as the preparation of raw materials, the cooking and vacuuming step, the heating and shaping step, and the packaging step. So here is the decision tree that we used, and the following 2 images are examples of how we use them to determine non-CCPs and CCPs. So after we determine the critical control points, principle 3 is about determining the control parameters or the critical limits for these CCPs. So by analyzing the hazards that we need to eliminate, we can determine the values that are needed to be controlled for each CCP, and then from there we can devise the best course of action. So This table here is an example of the critical limits that we have determined to control our CCPs effectively.
Next is Principle 4, which is establish monitoring procedure to monitor each of the critical control point. By doing this, we can identify and prevent a deviation from occur in the processing line of our production. As we can see in the picture, in our monitoring procedure, for each CCPs, we have included what is being monitored, how it is being monitored, the frequency of the monitoring, and who is monitoring. And every CCP must be recorded on their own monitoring log for the record keeping.
Now we go to principle 5, which is corrective action procedure. In this principle 5, we have to put all the correction procedures that we have done in order to solve the problem that we have faced. So this is one of the example of corrective action procedures form that we have done. Firstly, we put the name of the product, which is pomegranate flavored rock candy. The process step or the CCP is cooking vacuuming, which is CCP2. The problem is temperature of the candy mixture lower than 150 degrees C. This is for the problem is because it is not achieved the temperature needed to of the candy mixture, which is 150 to 155 degrees C. So it is lower than 150. So we have to take the action to solve this problem. So disposition of the product is we hold and we work if possible. The corrective action procedure. Firstly, we have identified the affected product and we place it on hold. Second, we rework if possible, otherwise condemn the product. We set the temperature or moving the product to other cooker equipment. So the third step is we determine the source of the deviation, and we have found that the source of deviation is the broken thermometer. So we take the step to prevent, which is we replace the broken thermometer with the new thermometer. So lastly, we notify the quality control supervisor as soon as possible. Who is responsible for the corrective action is, for this example, the person is responsible for the corrective action is cook on duty, the employee that on duty. So the compliance procedure, we replace the broken thermometer with the new one, and we monitor the CCP as usual during rework.
Now we will look at principle 6, where we have two tables that we need to prepare, which is first justification table, second is verification table. So we will look at justification table first. This is the simplified version of justification table, where the full version where we will put it at our report. And in the table, we need hazard, countermeasure, critical limit, and reference or justification. And also, we already list down all the hazard that we will found in our production. So here is the second table for the principle 6, which is the verification table, where there were CCP verification activities, frequency, person responsible for the CCP records, and corrective actions for the hazard that we found. This table basically just gives information how we monitor our production and how we find necessary steps to do our production to go smoothly.
And lastly, we go to principle 7, which are documentation and records. Here are some examples of documentation that has been used in our company. For example, HACCP manual, company profile, organization chart, food safety policy, list of HACCP team and responsibilities, scope of HACCP plan, product description, and many others that can be seen in the next slide. All of these documents will be listed in our company's master list to control the status of the documents easily. Here are the example of record that also has been used in our company, which are CCP monitoring activities record, deviations and associated corrective actions record, verification log record, correction record, analytical report and raw data, HACCP cook and cooling temperature log, record for temperature and humidity monitoring, and modification of HACCP system record. HACCP summary can be summarized in table form, just like this slide, which is contain CCP number and process tab, significant hazards, critical limits, monitoring in what, how, frequency, and who, corrective action, verification in what, how, frequency, and who, and also records for our product name, Pomegranate Flavoured Candy. And all of this summary table has been made by Research and Development and approved by Chief Executive Officer. All of the data in this summary table can be obtained from Principle 1 to Principle 7 from HACCP plan of our company.
So next, for the conclusion, to sum up, in the production of the pomegranate flavoured candy, we have developed a food safety system for our company based on the 7 principles of the HACCP plan. The system is designed to detect any potential hazard, and we developed a strategy based on the critical control point that we got in order to eliminate or reduce the hazard analysis to a safe level. Last but not least, this system was created as a structure that may be used by any company to identify the step and the procedure for producing the high quality of the food product.